I remember one day as a young lad, early 2000s, I was sitting, flicking through the television, trying to find something to watch. And then I stumbled across one TV show in particular. SASUKE Ninja Warrior.
100 determined athletes have accepted the challenge to become Ninja Warrior.
Next thing I know, an hour had passed and I was there hooked. Crazy bails. Epic gamer moments. And just brilliant one-liners. Did he want to marinate his meaty frame? It went from being this super niche Japanese television show to a worldwide sensation.
First American Ninja Warrior.
Spawning not only endless international versions of the show, but into actually becoming a sport. So in today's video, we will explore how the hell this all happened.
Big leap here from Toby. 20 seconds left.
The meteoric rise of Ninja Warrior across like the last 10 years would have never have happened if it wasn't for Sasuke. And no, that's not the Naruto character. Sasuke actually translates to the word ninja, roughly, and is the name for the very first original Ninja Warrior. As is to be expected of Japanese game show television, Sasuke was nuts. Continuing the legacy of shows like Takeshi's Castle, where contestants had to take part in these challenges that were pretty much impossible. In Sasuke Ninja Warrior, we would see these people beast this course of like the most unforgiving obstacles ever. It was like watching a video game in real life. The show itself began airing in Japan in 1997 as an entire 3-hour epic, with over 100 contestants taking part in a 4-stage competition. So stage 1, the first stage was designed to test a competitor's overall athletic ability. Stage 2 was like the speed test, so you know how quickly you can do it. Stage 3 was balance and endurance. And then finally, stage 4. Stage 4 simply had just one objective: climb to the top of Mount Midoriyama. Sounds pretty easy. Before we go any further, I want to give a massive shout out to Vite Ramen for sponsoring today's video. Vite Ramen is a quick and easy, nutritionally complete ramen noodle pack. Most people love noodles, but kind of shy away from them for not being that healthy. But this is where Vite Ramen comes in, because these packs, they take like 3 minutes to cook, but they contain 25% of your daily values of your vitamins and minerals. As well, this pack in particular has 29 grams of complete protein. So I find these perfect as like a lunchtime meal, especially when I'm editing and I can't be bothered to cook, but you know, I want to try and stay healthy. Oh, and exclusively for you guys, the Jimmy the Giant audience, Vite Ramen are giving away a ton of freebies with your order. Each order comes with free chopsticks, a free spoon, and 2 Vite Ramen stickers. So be sure to check the links in the description and the top comment, and use the code Jimmy the Giant UK to get 10% off your order. Anyway, back to the video. Well, in the first episode with the 100 contestants, only 23 actually made it past stage 2. Stage 2 then wiped out most of the competition, leaving only 6 people left for stage 3. Stage 3 claimed 2 more people, leaving just 4 people for the final stage to tackle Mount Midoriyama.
Now the 4 survivors must face the toughest obstacle yet, the final stage tower.
So into this 4th stage, if you can imagine, the Japanese television audience, they've probably watched this show for about 2 hours. And by this point, they're on the edge of their seats to find out who's gonna win Sasuke. And all Mount Midoriyama was a piece of rope. Okay, it was a pretty long piece of rope, but you know, it was one obstacle. It was pretty high, but you know, it didn't look impossible. The first contestant steps up. They start attacking the rope. They're climbing. They're going pretty well. But they get about 2/3 of the way up the rope and the buzzer goes and they failed. The next lad steps up and, to put it bluntly, just completely fix it. So by the 3rd contestant, we're kind of getting an idea for how hard this challenge is. And as he fails to make it, we're on to the very last contestant, nicknamed the Monkey. With the eyes of Japan on him, the Monkey ascends the rope. And he's going pretty quick. Clean technique, he's moving. With 9 seconds left on the clock, he's nearing the top, and then the timer goes. and he fails. The rope is cut and he slowly descends back to the ground, failing to conquer Mount Midoriyama. Like, can you imagine? You've sat there watching this show for 3 hours and no one won. Like, imagine that was the World Cup final and they just went, there's no winner. Let's all just go home. I would be fuming. I would be so annoyed. But that weren't the case, not even slightly. The audience lapped it up and SASUKE became an instant classic. At this early point in SASUKE's life, no one would foresee what was to come. SASUKE 2 would go ahead in 1998 and again, no one won. SASUKE 3 went ahead in 1999 and the creators of the show somehow felt that the course wasn't hard enough and decided to add a ton of new obstacles to make the show even harder, such as the rolling log. If you could manage to get to the other end without throwing up, I think that's an achievement in and of itself. And shock horror, there was no winner in SASUKE 3. Like, surely you would think it's just too hard. It's impossible. But that was all about to change on the 16th of October, 1999. SASUKE 4, a young man by the name of Kazuyuko Akiyama, that's pretty good, was absolutely tearing up the course. And as he proceeded to stage 3, everyone else had failed, leaving him as the last man standing to enter stage 4. He assumed his position, holding onto the rope with his butt on the floor, ready to tackle Mount Midoriyama. The sound hits and his climb begins, and he attacks the rope, using a technique that people hadn't really done prior. As he was gripping the rope between his two legs, it was giving him a sort of leverage, and he gets past the middle mark with 15 seconds left on the clock. And then he emerges through the hole in the top, slaps the button, and becomes the first ever Ninja Warrior with 6 seconds left on the clock. The impossible was now possible. Well, sort of. You see, right after the completion of SASUKE 4, the creators somehow felt it wasn't hard enough. And so they completely changed the course. Like, they scrapped the entire course and replaced it with an entirely new course, which they had made considerably harder. To give you some perspective on just how hard they made it, SASUKE 4 saw 37 people complete stage 1. SASUKE 5, on the other hand, only 3 people completed stage 1. And none of them got to stage 4. And it would take another 10 years before we'd see one other winner, which was in 2006. You see, the success of SASUKE couldn't be contained to Japan for much longer. During the mid to late 2000s, networks from all over the world had purchased rights to show SASUKE. They would edit it down from like the 3-hour epics into a more digestible version for a Western audience. And this is where I would have started watching it. As a young kid, I would see these people competing in these ridiculous courses. But you see, what really stood out wasn't just the athleticism. To me, it was the stories of the competitors. You see, the show really focused on the hero's journey of the competitors, who are often just normal people working 9-to-5 jobs. You know, you might have old Dave who is hauling bricks Monday to Friday, but on the weekend, he's a bloody ninja. It was this focus that really just inspired people. It was amazing to see what just regular people could achieve. But then there'd be one country to come along and kind of put an end to all the fun and games. This country would see the glory of being crowned Ninja Warrior and think, we're having that. And that country was, obviously, America. Who else was it going to be? In 2007, the TV show G4, who up until this point was just showing reruns of SASUKE, but to an American audience, they decided to put on the first ever American Ninja Challenge.
Well, here we are. After tons of submissions, you the fans have selected these 3 finalists in G4's American Ninja Challenge,
being the very first American qualifier for SASUKE 19. Now the floodgates were just open to any Tom, Dick and Harry who fancied trying their hand at being a Ninja Warrior. And from this show, 2 young hopefuls emerged, Brett and Colin, who proceeded onto the Japanese SASUKE 19, who both got claimed on stage 1 at the Jumping Spider Challenge. You see, this didn't really matter. This was just the start. And in a pretty well-timed sequence of events, the sport of parkour had started to really grow all across the West. And by the late 2000s, parkour would have an influence on Ninja Warrior. You would start to see most of the competitors who did well at Ninja Warrior also happened to be freerunners. There was one freerunner by the name of Levi Murenberg. think that's how you say it, who went on and actually got onto the 3rd stage of SASUKE, being the most successful American athlete to go into SASUKE.
Segunda fase. No, Levi!
Americans, being the slightly competitive bunch that we all know them to be, they started to take Ninja Warrior serious. Like in Japan, it was a game show. Just TV, it was fun, you know, everyone's having fun. But in America, it was a sport. This was serious.
I want to be on SASUKE on Ninja Warrior. I've been trying to do as much training as I can.
Attack! Wow, he's quick on that.
Ninjas everywhere! No! Where are you guys? Don't freak out!
A chap by the name of David Campbell became the first ever person to build a Ninja Warrior course in their back garden. Some janky setup I'm sure gave him tinnitus, but... Now look, I'm obviously joking around a little bit about how competitive Americans are. I mean, they're definitely competitive, I'm not joking about that, but I actually think it's a really good thing. It's this competitive nature that often Americans bring to small sports or hobbies, niche communities. It's this attitude that often elevates these communities and can turn something like Ninja Warrior into a global sensation. And that's exactly what started to happen. Ninja Warrior became massive in America, leading to the 19th of December 2009 with the creation of American Ninja Warrior.
7 years. Whoa! The country's fittest athletes.
This was like a fully licensed American version of SASUKE. It was its own thing. It wasn't just a qualifier for SASUKE, it was now its own big competition. With all American competitors, famous celebrities hosting the show, and full English commentary. And the first event in true SASUKE style saw no winners, obviously. So by the second American Ninja Warrior, they realized they're gonna have to sweeten the pot a little bit, and they put a $250,000 prize reward for the winner. But alas, there was no winners again. They upped the prize reward to $500,000, $500,000 to win American Ninja Warrior. So as you would expect, the competition was being taken more and more serious because you could win some life-changing money.
After he's done, a great save by Ing. Leap! Oh!
Back in Japan, SASUKE went for a little bit of a rough patch where it almost got canned because the company went bankrupt. But the show came back and to this date has been on air for 23 years. And in those 23 years, there's only been 6 total victory winners of SASUKE, which was actually only by 4 people because 2 of them had won it twice, which is just mind-blowing, to be completely honest. At around the early 2010s, Ninja Warrior just blew up. In 2018, it was reported that there was 191 places in America that you could do Ninja Warrior. The popularity of this TV show had given birth to an entire sporting industry. There was like big competitions and leagues that were separate to the TV show, with the National Ninja League and the Ultimate Ninja Athletic Association. And these gyms that you could go and do Ninja Warrior at were becoming quite common. They were often lumped together with either like parkour parks or trampoline parks or just gyms that literally did Ninja Warrior. For many, it's become a way of working out and getting strong. And over the past 10 years, endless spin-offs and international versions of Ninja Warrior have appeared. I wasn't able to find an exact number, but there's around 18 worldwide, including Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, obviously the USA, and the UK. Come on, England! But you may be wondering, how many people have won Ninja Warrior now? Well, I told you about Japan, so let's look at America. In America, there's only been 2 official winners, being Jeff Britton and Isaac Calderio. Now this story is just depressing. So basically what happened is, on the 7th American Ninja Warrior, there had been no winners up until this point. All 7 prior Ninja Warriors had saw no winner. But on the 7th, both Isaac and Jeff won. But unfortunately, only one person could win the now $1 million jackpot. And because Isaac was just 3 seconds quicker than Jeff, Isaac walked away with a cool $1 million, and Jeff walked away with a depressing story about how he nearly won $1 million. He'll probably tell people in the pub for the rest of his life. I nearly had it. 3 goddamn seconds, I'm telling you. Goddamn Isaac. 3 seconds, man. 3 seconds. 3 goddamn. And then there's the 3rd unofficial winner of American Ninja Warrior. Now, I can't actually tell you this story because YouTube will demonetize me, but if you Google the name Drew Drechsel, I wouldn't suggest it, but basically they had to denounce him and take him off the official winners list.
Here we have Tim champion our parkour athletes, that a 20-year-old parkour professional, can it?
But over in the UK, Ninja Warrior's always been dominated by freerunners. There's been Toby Sager, Tim Sheaf, but our boy Tim Champion became the first and only UK Ninja Warrior in 2015. But as far as I'm aware, the UK Ninja Warrior doesn't pay, or if it does, it isn't much money. Come on, guys, what are you doing? Give us boy some money. But to be honest, interest in Ninja Warrior is looking very healthy. On Google search, it peaked in popularity in August 2021, and it seems to be continuing to grow, and locations are still popping up. It's become its own thing.
Transitioned onto the UFO, and we could see that first buzzer for stage 2.
Which is just such a cool and unique background story, being that it came from a Japanese game show called SASUKE. I personally really love Japanese culture. They're so creative and they just get stuck into things. And it's awesome to see how this obscure TV show became what it is today, pitting humans against the absolute peak of obstacle courses, and all the while taking us on a journey of these unsung heroes into these heroic ninja warriors. Keep it up, SASUKE. We love you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can massively help me out by picking up some merch off my website, jimmythegiant.co.uk, or donating to me on Patreon or using the sponsored link below. Peace.